Hello and welcome to Irish Sports World News. This is Saturday night in early February, or as it is now, Sunday morning, because this is slightly late. Sports today, a little bit of soccer, nothing too incredibly sensational, except I was surprised to see that Japan were beaten by Iran in the Asian Nations tournament. As I said last night, Japan are the highest rated Asian team and had done quite well in the last World Cup, but they were beaten 2-1 by Iran with a penalty in the last minute. But just checking on it later on, I found Iran are not too many places behind Japan in the world rankings and in second place as regards Asian teams, always seen as the second strongest Asian team. So it wasn't a massive surprise for people who had done their homework. Premiership bits and pieces. One outstanding result was Newcastle 4, Luton 4, and they're all what I call an old-fashioned result. We used to get lots of those in the old days. Nice to see it, an open game, and to see Luton waking up as well, because they looked like doomed for relegation a month back, but now they're coming back. And well, Newcastle aren't getting any better either because they were at home, so not a good result for them. In the rugby, as we know, Ireland hammered France last night down in Marseille, and then we had a narrow win for England against Italy. This English team doesn't convince in any sense or form. I know they're a decent World Cup, but they're seriously short of class players, I think. And then we had in the Cardiff Arms Park, scoreline that looked like an extremely close game. I hadn't gone near it or watched it, but amazing of Wales 26, Scotland 27. But the full story of the game is early in the second half, Scotland were actually 27 points to nil up, so Wales made a fantastic comeback, but sadly for them, just failed. Let's see how it goes, but right now it would look that Ireland are odds on to win everything again this year. It's hard to see anybody beating them. Certainly with France missing their best players hasn't helped. And finally, in racing, I'm just looking at my tips yesterday, which I'd written somewhere, but I'd given 6 horses, and as I've said, it's more or less a Willie Mullins monopoly. But I did manage to get the winner in the final race. As I said, I just picked it because of the nice name, which is as good a reason as any. A horse called Jereboam Machin. She won at 12-1. So you might get a few pennies back, but other than that, it was my usual disastrous day. But I think what stood out was, I think for me, was the first race where our friend Willie had 4 runners, including the short price favourite, as usual, written by Townend. Of the 4 runs, he had the winner, a horse called Dancing City, who was actually the complete outsider in the race, and definitely the outsider of the 4 Mullins runners. And this happens way too often, but I'm not saying much because I know nothing about it, but nobody's pulling it. It happened last year as well. Somebody knows which of these horses is the best, but it's certainly not good for punting. It's not good for the ordinary guy who's going to the race meeting and having a few bob on it, because you really don't know, and Mullins has got a stranglehold hold and everything. And I think that's proved. Just looking at tomorrow again, fantastic racing from a prize money point of view, and the quality is there. But I was just looking at one particular race, which is the 110, the Ladbrokes Novice Chase. You have 5 runners, and the top 3 in the betting are all Mullins horses. Gaelic Warrior at 10-11, Fact to File at 2-1, and Grange Clare West at 4-1. All of them are going to be favourites probably in different races at Cheltenham, but it's a stranglehold, you know. I think the next two horses at the top in the betting would be nearly 25-1. So what do you do? Who do you follow? It's getting difficult. It hit me today that it's a little like if you play poker. We'll say you have 7 people around the table, and the chips are divided as follows: 6 of the players have 2 million chips or less, and 1 player has 50 million chips. And you can imagine the game, if you know poker, what kind of a game that's going to be. It's going to be quite boring and only interesting because the guy with 50 million can afford to bluff, and also, you know, if a player is going to go all in, he's going to have a very, very good hand before he's going to take that chance. And racing, jumps racing in Ireland, sadly, has become, I think, a little like that, from what I can see. And it's got worse this year. That Mr. Mullins is there's a complete stranglehold on everything. I mean, you might say it's envy or jealousy. This guy is a marvelous trainer, which of course he is, and has all these very expensive animals, which of course people send to him. He doesn't actually get them himself. But I don't think it's healthy. I'm not sure how you're going to change this, or is there a way of changing it? I mean, there are very good trainers here other than Willie, like of course Gordon Elliott, Henry the Bromhead. You know, there's quite a few who have winners in Cheltenham as well, but right now it's not healthy. It's not healthy. To have the favourite in the race, fine, but to have the top 3 in the belt, and the race I mentioned is not the only one where that's the case. Usually you have the first and second favourites at least in at least 50% of the races. So there you go. It's just a more. It doesn't matter to me much because I'm never going to be betting heavily anyway, but you have to be very wary before you put your money on the Mullins favourite, written by Townend, from the point of view that I think it was Danny Mullins. That first one was Dancing City, and Mullins won the next 2 as well, and all were written by Danny, and I think it was, I checked out about a 400-1 treble. So we'll see, but maybe the book, I'd be surprised if the bookies don't start complaining soon. But anyway, it's good night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully all the outsiders in Leopardstown come back. I'm afraid to do, and actually I've lost interest in giving a tip for tomorrow's racing because there's no joy in it. Good night.